Hello, everyone, and welcome to Life Clarifications with Natasha. And, I'm just grateful to be here today. It's been a day, so I'm still kind of getting settled. And, oops, sorry, I dropped something. So I just wanted to say hello to everyone and welcome to this week of life. We're all going through something, we're all breaking through something, and I just wanted to talk about things like that, because, there's so many of us that are sitting here going, when is life gonna start for me? When is life gonna do this? When is life gonna do that? When is life gonna, we all have this magicalness in us, and we're starting to just not believe in it. And I want people to believe in it. And you'll have to excuse me here that I went and did a feng shui session with someone in their house today, and that's my new part of my business that I'm going to be putting on my website soon about feng shui and breaking through. And I have helped about 5 people lately, and this is kind of magical for me as this magicalness that comes in. And I'm going to use that word a lot today, I think, because there's an opportunity for us to have magic in our lives. We just gotta, I'm not going to say just gotta, I don't want to say just. We don't just. I'm going to offer to you, there's a better way. I'm going to offer to you about having these moments where, I can help you, support you in breaking through things. There's just these moments where we're just stumbling. Even me, I've stumbled a little and I've stumbled a lot actually, trying to break through some things. And, I just got there's that word again, just gotta. It was just those moments where, it's like right before things were going to happen, I had doubt. And I hear this from a lot of people that right before something happens, they have doubt. And, we're all going through something. We're all going to be managing something. And there's always this moment where life is happening around us and to us and for us. And, there's just this amazingness that is happening. And, as the better that we can is the better that we are. And, I came back from doing that session and was a little tired because I know that, my body's going through a lot. Our bodies are all going through a lot. We're getting a lot of downloads. We're getting a lot of uploads. We're getting a lot of this. We're getting a lot of that. And so I kind of took a snooze and fell asleep. And then all of a sudden I hear this noise in my house because I asked my guides, you know, can you wake me up before the show so I can be ready? And here at like uh 5:58, I hear this clunk in the house. And it was like, "Oh, thank you. I didn't get fearful. I just said thank you, so that I can be ready." And so I'm a little foggy still, so I apologize. When you go through so many things and so many opportunities, sometimes our energy gets drained. And it's okay if it does. That's where sometimes we got to push the reset button. And, we're all going through these major shifts, it seems. And the summer, oh my, the summer, there's so many people who I have an observation of saying, when is it going to happen for me? When am I going to get the lucky drop? When am I going to get the lucky thing? When am I going? Well, it takes perseverance. It takes being aware of life happening. It takes us being willing to walk through those doors that we weren't wanting to walk through before. And as we go through life and as we go through these things and when we're doing our work, that we got to look. I'm tired of saying those words. We gotta. Well, we don't gotta. So I'm trying to change my language. So excuse me if I'm kind of going through this new awareness of, sweetie, I'm not supposed to say that word anymore, and we gotta, we shoulda. No, no, we don't gotta, and we don't shoulda. It's just one of those things that I would love for all of us to have a successful moment in these years where COVID has hit. And if anything, that's the thing we can do. And I'm offering that today is a day where I can really, would love to do a session with someone, or, do card readings for someone, or interact somehow, because we're all going through these moments where, hey, can you pull a card for me? And I'd be glad to, because we're all going through something, and those self perceptions are huge. Sorry, I got a little thirsty today doing what I was doing. Because doing feng shui, it's been fun. I love doing feng shui. I'm lightening up because I just love it. It's something that I've done in my own home for years, years and years and years. Basically, I've lived in this house for, oh, my kid is 23, 24 years old now. So I've lived in this house for 20, and I started feng shuiing those years ago because this house really needed it, asked for it. And there's some homes that ask for it. And so with that, going in and doing this feng shui work, that I've always been intuitive too. And so the land talks with me, and it interacts with me, and the spirit of the home talks with me and interacts with me. And so that was pretty, I'm actually using this conversation to fill up my battery a little bit, because we're all going through this stuff. And it's been amazing how I've walked into someone's house, and they were like going, I just kind of noticed that in their knowledge corner, they're kind of like, there's a lot of slower space, or clutter type stuff, and they're like going, I just feel funky. And that reminds me, since I'm feeling a little funky, I should kind of look at my knowledge corner or my health corner, because my health is changing a lot. And with as we're going through life and going through things, that it's amazing how looking at our environment can change our world. And I'm just getting this big aha, this huge aha. I got it down in California, that change your environment, change your world. And these seven our environments came to me while I was down there. Does it inspire me? Does it have purpose? Does it inspire me or expire me? So, like the body, how do I treat it? How do I treat my body? Well, I've been treating my body pretty darn good, especially since I went to California. My girlfriend was on a 9 vegetable or fruit diet, as she called it, where she had to get 9 fruits and vegetables in her diet. She could eat other things, but her goal was to get 9 vegetables and fruits in her diet. Well, going down there, I go, 9 is a little big for me, so why don't I try 5? Since I did that, it's like, oh, my body's like saying, I can do this. I can do this. It's bringing in that environment. Another one is self. Self. My inner knowings. What do I trust with my inner knowings? That's self. And as we're going through life, and as we're doing things, and as we're navigating through life, how do my inner knowings help me? Well, a lot of people don't trust their inner knowings. They just poo them all along. And what did we live life for? What did we live life for if it wasn't for gaining knowledge? And when we do not trust our own knowledge, when we don't trust our own things we're doing, how are we supposed to manage the next thing? And I've done this before. I've said this before. Did we learn to walk the first time? No. So when we're trying to start something new, how do I trust my knowings? Well, I know that if I was a waitress before, and then I was asked to be a manager of a store, didn't I manage people before? It just is a different aspect. And it's just, there's that word again. It is about applying, it's about applying that new knowing of ourselves. Oh, managing people. I managed people before. I just did it in a different way. So self-knowing. Then there's spirituality. The spirituality. What inspires my aliveness? What is the spirit that is alive in me? So what around me, what in my environment inspires me? Well, this room really inspires me. I mean, I got the magic of the unicorn. I've got Buddha. I've got Hawk. I've got all these lovely things that came to me. I love these unicorns. These unicorns actually gave to me when I was at a thrift store for $2. And then I just added this little bead of rose quartz around it because she wanted it. And, it's just magical when you get these things that bring inspiration. And, so finding those spirit in us, because not everybody in our world is supposed to inspire us. We may have a mate that is great at supporting us in our lifetime, our home, but then they're not really inspiring us with asking how our day is, how did this work? Oh, yay, you're starting a new job. I'm so excited for you. They may not have that in them. And so we have to find our own inspiration. So don't necessarily collect a bunch of things. I'm gonna navigate through some of that. Don't collect a bunch of things, but find those things that inspire you. Find the pictures that inspire you. Find that moment that inspires you. It's kind of like this picture here was given to me by a friend, and this is in my financial corner. So I wanted the abundance. I had another picture in here that was feeling right. So this picture, when it first came, sat down here. So I would look at it every day. Well, after a little while, it said, no, I want to be hung. So I changed what was there, moved it to a bedroom that my kid moved out of, and the whole thing started finding a different purpose. So find those things that inspire you. Nature. How many of us have been afraid of being in nature, or we don't look at nature? I know there's many of us that live like in places like New York or the cities, and we lose track of what nature's doing around us. Well, I know for me, when I was down in California, I had tons of butterflies flying around me. And what was magical was that feng shuiing my girlfriend's house was breaking through this new knowledge of what I was supposed to be doing, this new calling for me, because I can use my mediumship, I can do my intuitive work, I can do this and feng shui at the same time. Yay! What a blessing. Well, what was magical is that nature around me was showing me by showing me butterflies. Butterflies are about magic, bringing magic in. Just like me feng shuiing this one house, there was a jumping spider that was jumping down to her sign that said welcome. It was like saying, come in, jump into your new life. Welcome to what's going to happen to you. And then nature at my home here was saying, bring it home. And hawk is my totem. Well, we got a family of hawks that came in and started flying around and swooping down close to our heads. And it was magical because they were calling from early morning till night. So hawk came in about the same time down in California. I was opening up to this new knowing of myself. And so there was this double things that were saying, you're on the right path. Well, hawk has been moving on a little bit because I knew that they were helping their young ones practice to fly. I got that message, and so they're moving on, but yet at the same time, hawk is about getting the bigger vision. It's not about staying in this tunnel vision anymore. And with that, it was this double explanation point at the end of the sentence. Get moving. So nature's out there supporting us. I know a lot of people right now are seeing a lot of dragonflies. Dragonflies are about that spirit of new beginnings, about, bring the dragon into your life, bringing in the power, that fire, that inspiration. They eat lots of bugs. So what are you going to eat away of your life that is bugging you? It's time to leave those things alone. And then now we have the physical. So the body is one, ourselves is another, spiritualness is one, nature is one, the next one is physical. What do we have around us that either inspires us or expires us? Clutter the mind, clutter around us is clutter of the mind. Now, if you can see, I have lots of things. I have lots of things. And yes, I'm feeling heavy with them. So it'll be time to shift and change some things, have things go out, give them a quiet space for a little while. Like my lights on my bookshelf that you have seen behind me through a lot of my winter months, because when I face the blue there's so much light coming in now that I would be blue if I was facing this other way. So my bookshelf, well, the Christmas lights keep burning out. So what in my relationship corner am I doing that keeps burning out my relationships? You see how metaphors, things happening, can help us find out what's really happening in our lives? I'm going to look at that one a little deeper, I think. That one just came to me. So physical. Clutter, does it inspire or expire me? Now the next one, financial. Financial. Am I happy with my financials? Not many of us are they? Are we? Hmm. Not happy with my financials. It's time to break through and renew. We're coming up on a full moon or new moon with the Lionsgate. New inspirations. Time to write a new contract about financials so that we can have abundance. So we can have, we're done. It's that, we be done. Be done with our old stories, because these old stories are only going to hurt us more if we keep rolling them over, rolling them over and rolling them over. So how am I managing my financials? I think I'm doing pretty good. I can do better. I think I'm doing pretty good, but I can do better. You can always do better. Network is the next one. So we have body, self, spiritual, nature, physical, financial, and network. Network. The network that we interact with, the people around us, the network that we interact with, the way that our phone system works. That it's amazing how our connections either inspire or expire. Net worth equals our network. That's a huge one, isn't it? Our net worth equals our network. Our network equals our net worth. That's a huge one. I know that I have a lot of people in my life that I love dearly. And I'm choosing to have the ones in that inspire me, that inspire my path, inspire me, inspire my networking. And the ones that don't, I still have them in my life. I'm just choosing to find another loving place with them. So with them. And I always will have them with me. It's that inspiring or expiring. Because my network, when I was down in California, my girlfriend and we really inspired each other. Our network was really bouncing around and swirling around. I got home and my husband, who works wonderful 14-hour, 12-hour days, 10 to 12-hour days. He's a manager at a store, at an Apple store. He's in charge of people. He's got people coming in his life all day. Does he have energy for me? Yes, but not necessarily in words and inspiration. And so there again is finding my net worth. So if my husband can't, because of good reasons, he's doing a great job being a great husband. He's just not inspiring when it comes to, hey, I got a new idea. Oh. How can he have energy? So that's where I'm finding other inspirations called find the strength where the strength is. I'm going to repeat that. Find the strength where the strength is. So if you have somebody in your life that you're asking something of them and it's really not their strength, then how can they be successful and be successful in your network? So with that, maybe if you would ask them to do something else instead of what you are asking, you might find their net worth will embrace their new knowings or their knowings that they actually have. And it's great. It's kind of like a bookkeeper who loves working with numbers. You can't ask him to go paint and have creative activities. Some do, yes. But, it's that find strength where they are. So, our network connections. Our net worth equals our network. Our network equals our net worth. And then the last thing, which I'm going to say will actually work out better when you take care of your body, yourself, your spirituality, your nature, and you're working with nature, your physical, your financials, and your network, your relationship with who brings you up or takes you down. We evolve into the people we're with. Oh, that's a big one. That one hit me when I heard that one. We evolve into who we are with. Our greater net worth is our greaterness with who we are. Doesn't mean that we have to let go of everybody in our life that doesn't give us something, but it's about finding the people that inspire, that bring the network together, the net worth together, who bring us to evolving up. Now, my girlfriend in California, she was texting a friend who, whenever she would text a friend every night saying, I did it today. I did it today. And I said, why don't we do that? Why don't we text each other and say, I did it today? And what was our accomplishments? Because accomplishments aren't always, yes, I went to the gym. I go to the gym every day and I accomplished going to the gym. Yes, that's something to be proud of. But I'm going to tell you, me sitting up straight when I spent 20 years not sitting up straight and reminding myself daily to do that, I think that's an accomplishment too. So we've been texting each other to say, I inspire you, you inspire me. Our network will evolve us to being greater by doing this interaction work. Pretty cool, isn't it? So find two people in your life that can inspire you, not expire you. Bring up those ones that bring you up, not take you down. And if they take you down, and let's say if they're a family member or take you down because they're long life friends and you don't want to lose them, choose to take them in short spouts or give a moment for them. And just know it's time to just spend time with them, know what it's going to be, and then spend time with somebody who's inspiring right after that. So you don't stay down. Change our environment, change our life. I am so excited about navigating this feng shui. And I can tell you, I can do it virtually too. All I'm going to have you do is we work on video together. We can do Zoom. We can work on video together. And I'm going to have you walk through your house and do that. And I can get a sense of the house by being virtual. That's the gift of being intuitive, or being there personally. With that there's always these inspirations that are coming for us. So, does anybody have any questions or any comments that they would like to say? Because these are huge moments. When these environmental notes came to me, it's like, oh, it's adding in the pieces of the puzzle. It's like the Bagua of feng shui. It all kind of blends together. It brings that inspiration into all these moments where we can navigate together, and it's amazing where we're inspired, where we can be inspired. Sorry about that, a little thirsty. There's these moments where if we can inspire ourselves. Now, I have an understanding that many of us are feeling blocks. What's blocking me? What's holding me back? There's something that's holding me back. I can tell you that a lot of that is dealing with past lives. It's lineage. It's family history stuff. Do you know how many family members have the unheard, unwritten, unsaid history of having less than? I can name that in my family too. I had very successful family members. At the same time, though, did they really have, or did they just get by? Oh, they kind of just got by. They were able to manage life, yes. They were successful in their own ways. Yet at the same time, though, there was something always telling them that they needed to have things not to the standard that they would wish they would, because there was a self-belief, a self-unworth of not having it. And that's one thing, that working on our past lives, which is another thing I do. I can call up past lives real, they come to me very quickly. That when we're working through a lot of this, why am I not moving forward? What is stopping me from having these troubles, and why am I not being the strength that I am? And that's the wisdom that is coming forth, is that we're never we're never going to be who we want to be if we have that self-belief of unworth. We may be successful, we may be flourishing, yet at the same time, though, we're gonna feel like we're always stubbing our toes on a curb. We're gonna trip on rocks. Our furnace always breaks down, or our car always breaks down. There's always something that keeps breaking because we feel unworthy. It sabotages us. So, if I can invite you at all during this process of this session, or coming through, that if I can invite that there's this part of you that feels unworthy, that feels like you just can't get where you want to go, check in to see whose truth that is. Whose truth is it? I know for me that I've really been cleaning up a lot of old family truths, and it could even be, the ancestors that came over from England, and how they didn't believe in what they could, because there's a lot of family members that came over during the famines, and the potato famines, and a lot of those scenarios that they came through, and they had this core belief that they weren't enough. They just had to get out of where they were. And guess what comes through the lineage of our lifetimes? And It's amazing how much they're just little whispers in us that we heard in the womb. We heard in the we heard in the moments, and it's just one of those things that if we can just navigate through finding out those little core things. Kind of like for me that, there's this family lineage of colon cancer, my dad's side of the family. Well, I went back and went back and went back through mom's wombs, through grandma's wombs, through dad, through men, through women, through men, through women, through men. Got to this one young kid, male, who had the self-belief that they were not worthy of love. They had a troubled lifetime. He was actually a child of a rape, and the mom had to lie to the man of the house, the father, that it was his child. But the child knew that he was a child of rape, and that hit the gut. They had a hard time digesting life. Well, guess what happened lineage through lineage through lineage through the lineage through lineage? And guess what my dad ended up having was colon cancer, that he ended up getting rid of that, but it ended up in the lungs and he ended up passing. Well, cancel, clear, delete that. I'm done with that. I went through and here did that. That that as we go through life and as we're navigating through things, it's time for us to really see where these hooks and these claws are in about our belief system. So Veronica, says, "You've been inspiring me for quite some time, and I would benefit doing feng shui in my house." Yes, I would love to do that, Veronica. I would love to do that. So she also writes, "How do we break the chains of our past lives?" Oh, great question. Thank you, Veronica, for interacting. I love interactions because it does help me to know what you're thinking. And if you have the question, somebody else probably has the question. So thank you, Veronica. How do you break the chains of the past lives? The way that I've done it is that I have gone in, and I'm going to use this example of going back. I've gone back through my mother's womb, going back through my grandmother's womb, going back through the male DNA, because you can do that. It goes back through the male DNA. You just swim, not the sperm swim, but you swim back metaphorically through the different lineages. Okay, metaphorically. You can do this in a meditation. I wouldn't suggest doing this while you're driving, but I would suggest you can do this as you're walking or whatever. So you just go back and you swim through different lineages and you follow the lineage of the one that has the scenario. Let's say I knew that my father's side of the family had the lineage of colon. And so I was able to metaphorically swim back through their lifetimes. Okay. So I went back to this child that had um, no self-worth. When you know that you come from being a child of a rapist, you wonder if you're the rapist too. There's this part of that person, and I can't clear to relay that because I'm free from that story. That I took that child like he was standing in front of me and held his hands and said, "You are worthy." And I had a conversation about worthiness. I had a communication about how, and I'm talking to spirit, not necessarily him in person, but I'm talking to spirit, the energy of him. And I held his hands and I said, "Can we talk for a minute?" He said, "Yes." And I had a conversation about him finding his worthiness, about finding that it didn't matter his lineage, it was about him being alive. That even if he was from being raped, he was actually alive and he was meant to be alive because who he was became me. Oh, that's huge, isn't it? Because of who he was, how he was alive, it became me. And I'm grateful for me. And so seeing that it's not the moment that he's in, it's the moment of his lineage that comes forth. And so with that, him witnessing me gave a chance for him to heal, which gave me a chance to heal, which gave everyone else a chance to heal. And when I was down in California, my dad came through pretty strongly with my friend, and he said that I've done a lot of the healing because of those interactions. And so when we can go back through and get a sense of it. Now, if you need help, that's something I can do. I am very good at doing those kinds of meditations, going back, finding the lineage, guiding someone through that lineage. And we can do that. Is finding that key, the key to life, to navigate going there. So with that, finding that balance, finding that strength can help us do that. Now, there's things that I've done this on my mother's side too, because of the fact that they were from Northern Europe. So that would be Netherlands, not England necessarily, Germany, a lot of that lineage. And so there was a lot of things that came through. Now, my mother and my uncle passed away of Lou Gehrig's disease. Cancel, clear, delete that. That's not, I'm out of that story. There's something because there's a cousin of theirs that has MS. There's MD in the family. Cancel, clear, delete that. Free of that. I've healed a lot of my nervous system through doing this work. So went back through and found out that there was a lot of spraying and a lot of poisons that were in the lineage of the DNA, and that's where and it really got cemented back in with my mom and my mom's family being up in northern farmlands, and so they had the 50s and 60s sprays on farmland, and they didn't know that so much of it was toxic, and so that's where I think that they ended up having more problems is because it was already in the DNA, and that lineage from that timeline kind of went slap. Thank you, ma'am. So I went back and I healed. Just like for me, a lot of neck scenarios. So being hung, poisoned, head cut off, gagged, stretched, you name it, claim it. In past lives. So for me, I've had some neck issues. Well, for me, having those past lives, I ended up being in a car accident with my mom when I was like 7, 8, 9 years old, that my neck got jerked. So this lifetime cemented in some of the past life scenarios. What I've gone through is said, I'm asking for healing on this. I'm asking for healing on this. I went to chiropractors, acupressure, massage, done a lot of work with this energy. And as I've gone through life, I've actually been healing it more than I've been stressing it out. And that's what's been amazing is that when we take the aspect, can I heal? Yes, we can heal. It's that self-belief that we don't. Now, I know for me that I've, like tomorrow, if I'm going to go out and do word work or yard work, I'm going to talk with my body and say, okay. I also learned the trick too, that my body enjoys it when I do sea salt baths or Epsom salt baths. So after doing yard work, guess where I'm going to go? Head in to do a bath and get those sore muscles, toxins out so my body can start having a new story. It's time for us to have a new story. I'm going to say that again. We're breaking through this enormous knowing, and it's time for us to have a new story. So, new story. 25 years of a neck and arm issue. Yes, time for a new story. So, it's about honoring the body, moving a little slow, getting those muscles woken up, remembering that some things may trigger still, but yet telling my body when those triggers hit, yeah, we're creating a new story. Can we work on this a little bit? Let's not react so bad. Practice makes better. I love that statement. Practice makes better because we're never going to be perfect. This will never be perfect. It's going to be a whole lot better than it was, though. So with that we're coming up on to August 8th. It's a new moon. New moons always represent new beginnings. New moon represents new beginnings. We have this routine all the time. As soon as we have the full moon, we're gaining speed. We're gaining speed up to the new moon. As soon as a new moon hits, we're working towards letting go with the full moon. So we're in the moments of gaining really big speed because Sunday is the new moon that we can do that. And as we go through that, then we have this something called the Lion's Gate. The Lion's Gate is August 8th. I would say that the Lion's Gate this year, people have always said, yeah, it's nothing. Some people say, oh, it's huge. Perspective is perspective. As we work through things and as we go through things, perspective is huge. Either way, I know right now that there's many planets in retrograde. Planets in retrograde mean we kind of go back over doing our shadow effect, doing the navigation of why am I doing the same old pattern? Why is the things keep happening to me? Why do I have to keep dealing with this? Why do people keep doing this to me? Well, retrogrades kind of wake us up to going, yeah, time for me to look at that. Time for me to look at that. So having those, and then having the new moon. The new moon, which is in the sign of Leo, because it's during the Leo astrology time. And Leo is about fire, about the roar. Do you ever see a lion in nature? They roar. And the male lions, they like to have their pride do what they want a lot of times. The female lions, they're about the collective. How can we hunt together? How can we navigate together? So with that, it's that fire, because Leo is a fire sign. That fire of moving forward. So with that as we have this new moon, what can we get passionate about? What can we get inspired about? What is it that I want to do? How am I supposed to do this? Yes, oh geez, I have to go do the same old job, but how can I re-inspire myself to be there? You know what? If I have to do that same old job again, how many people a day can I shift from a frown to a smile? Put something in your life that can help you get a perspective. Because there's going to be hard days. So if you're one of the ones that have a frown on your face, how can you inspire yourself to not have a frown on your face by the end of the day? Called perspective. Okay, so with that, and then with the Lionsgate, it's about a doorway. So with the Lionsgate 2021 coming up, what is it that we should or should not be doing? Okay. Thank you, Veronica, for commenting. With this new moon slash Lionsgate, I'm going to say that it is time for us to put some new goals in to navigate saying, I am receiving. Write a note. We talked about this on Monday a little bit, and I'm going to repeat a lot of this right now. That when we're working with writing goals or writing inspirations or writing something to help us move forward, I am receiving. I have received. I am bringing forth. I have, uh, I am applying my new knowings. I am, the I am, the I am will bring in those passions, those moments. So I'm gonna ask you though, when you do your new callings of what you want, please be free of doing things like, I want a new car. Oh, I want a new Jaguar. Well, that Jaguar might not be the thing that the universe says is your greater good. So with that, I'm going to use the example of writing for a new car. I am receiving the car that makes me feel good when I sit in it. I am receiving the car that will be in my budget that I can pay for. I am receiving the car that when I sit in it, I'm free of blind spots or very little of them. As I sit in the car, I feel like it's fits and moves with me. I am receiving the car that gets great gas mileage. I'm receiving the car that when I drive in it, I know that the wheels are on the ground and I feel secure. I'm receiving the car that is safe. So when I'm driving on the freeway, my anxiety can be at peace. I am receiving a car that has strong wheels, strong motor, strong body, strong applying on the inside, and the technology will work for a very, very, very long time. I am calling in the car that has a greater health than any car can ever have. Okay. And then when you're done with that and receiving it in the best time or this as soon as possible in human time and spiritual time, and then write thank you all over it. Now, did you hear any negative words in that? No. When you're writing something inspirational, leave out I will not. I'm not going to. I don't want. So hear the difference. I am receiving a car. I don't want a car that is broken. Which one's more inspiring? I am receiving a car that has great gas mileage so I can go places. I don't want a car that is broken. I have a car that is filled with knowledge to be its strength, its greatness. So when I drive it, I can feel great and have strength too. So do you hear how negatives tank things? Do you disinspire? Or do you hear how I ams? I am. And if you're done with something, I am done with having cars that break down all the time. I am receiving a car that has strength and wisdom and is going to last forever for me until I choose to get rid of it. I am done with a car that costs too much. I am receiving a car that's in my budget. So do you hear how I am done is better than I don't want? So with that as we're going through this new gate, as you want to call it, it's this summer I feel like is the Lion's Gate. It's an opportunity for us to walk through this new knowing, this new amazing place that we can have, even if it's us being happier with ourselves. That's where I feel like that we can go. And so with that being inspired, being that moment, this whole summer is this gate of that please walk through it because there's opportunities everywhere. There's opportunities everywhere. Even if we're just there to inspire other people, maybe we can even get paid for it. It's just one of those things that it's just, it's not just, there's that slipped in again. Oh, I love myself. That as we're working through life and navigating through life, retraining ourselves through words that are disinspiring or expiring, sweetie, we just, all those triggered words for a lot of people. Retraining, practice makes better. Did you hear I caught myself right away because I've been in the application of inspiring myself to shift. And so when we're inspiring ourselves to shift, it's amazing how our awareness has come forth. We're in an amazing moment right now. And I have an understanding that just by being a witness of those that I've navigated with refunctioning their house or noticing where things are happening, that like like the person who I worked with today that, in her financial corner, she had a wall. She walked smack into a wall. Well, guess what she's been doing with her financials? She's been walking smack into a wall and going nowhere. How can you bring that wall into inspiration? We're going into these processes where life is asking us to move forward. When we have the tools and we have the strength, we can go with it. So any last minute questions? Because I'm going to start pulling on some cards here if there is no last minute questions here. Let me see here. I think I'm going to do these guys. This is Claudette Baron Reed's, and it's the Oracle cards. So I'm asking these cards. Thank you very much for being here with me. Cards, I really appreciate it. Whoa, do you see? They kind of started spooing out here. Oh, yes, 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 yes. I love those. Okay, I'm going to do one more shuffle, a couple more shuffles here. What can you tell us about our future? How can you tell us about our future? Okay, so this card here is calling to me. And then as I open up, I'm getting a calling for this card right here. Don't fall out. I love messages. I will share them with you in a minute here. Okay, so in the last card, that serpent card stay there the whole time. So I always pick the last card because of the fact that that's where we've been. The new card is where we're going. So with this, so these two cards wanted to come out together. The Raven and Fear. Oh, the Raven, the Raven, the Raven, the Raven. Magic. Coincidences. Synchronistic events. Synchronistic events. It's also a 10 card, which means it's one. So it's new beginnings. So the Raven, did you know that the Raven is one of the smartest birds out there? They can take, my husband, crows and ravens are pretty much in the same they are the same family. But my husband says that even on the golf course, you cannot put your sandwich in a bag or a box that the birds recognize because they'll open it up and take your food. But they're smart. They know how to navigate. There's about magic. And are they dark? Yes. So remember that sometimes our greatest teachers are our shadows moments. Be willing, if you can, to navigate with your shadows, your places where things are a little bit bumpy, to navigate through to get to your smartness, because many a times we have fear about moving forward. Yet at the same time, though, that fear is about changes. Fear is a great teacher. Fear is an amazing speed bump for us. Because when we have fear, it's that, oh, where am I going to go? Where can I go? It gives us a moment to breathe in so we can breathe out. Fear is an amazing. It's not about control, though. It's about moving with it, going down the path. We have smarts, we have synchronicity. Right now, synchronicity is really huge. Like me, going through that breakthrough down in California. The same week I was going through, there was synchronicity here with my totem with Hawk coming to my home in Washington, 2 other states away. Isn't that amazing how synchronicity happened to show me be my own magic. Be my own magic. Step out of fear. You got the stuff. You got the stuff. You got the stuff. Because we're going to have movement. I can speak today. Movement. But if you notice, it's the same path, right? Perception. So after we use our synchronicity and check in with our fear, we can have movement. We can have movement to the greater good. Now, this is 3 plus 6 is 9, so 9 is about endings. So remember that every ending gives opportunity for new beginnings to come forth. So as we have movement, life can happen. Kind of like for me when Kevin and I decided to shift paths, and I didn't say it was a shift of paths. At the same time, I went, ouch. I said, where am I going to go now? What's going to happen with me? I can only tell you magic's going to happen. Yay! I'm excited for it. Opportunities are so magical because we have movement with endings. 3 plus 6 is 9. 3 plus 6 is 9. So endings with magical new beginnings because there's joy in the path. There is joy. When we have joy, we'll know we're on the right path. Like when I was doing feng shui today, it was almost hard for me to stop because I was having so much joy navigating it. So as we go forward and as we navigate through life, having joy. So 7 plus 3 is 10. So 10 is about new beginnings. Aha! Endings, new beginnings. Right? And fear was 8 plus 4, which is 12, which is 3. So with that, because 2 plus 1 or 1 plus 2 is 3. So as we have the new beginnings, we have an opportunity for growth. We have an opportunity for growth because in our past, we have, sorry about this if people are afraid of snakes, we had the serpent. I won't show up for very long. Knowledge and healing. So remember how serpents can shed their skin? And for a while, they were kind of blind because their eyes are covered with the skin. So they have to trust. They have to go through fear to have movement, right? So serpent has to let go of their fear to move through so that they can still eat as they're shedding their skin. And as they shed their skin, they become a new being, even though they're their old selves, right? They just grown a little bit. So as we shed our skin and as we shed our knowings, it's amazing how we can navigate through life. We can choose to do what we're going to be doing, because in the nighttime, you have owl. You have owl. Owl is a great magic. In many belief systems, owl is about death. Well, what did I say about death is a new beginning? Owl is about life, being able to see in the dark. It's about trusting. Oh, an owl. Can you hear owl? Only when I hoot. So with that we don't have to advertise where we're going in our lives. Many a times, like I was saying about our environment, that when we have our environments, if our network in our network, if we start spewing out what we're going to do you think everybody's going to hold it with love? So as we walk in our future, remember, only hoot to the people who are willing to hear, to inspire you, because it's about deception and wisdom. Checking in with the people around you, who inspires you, who expires you, and share those gorgeous things with the people who inspire you, because the people who expire you still deserve love, still deserve nutrition of us and the balance of our time. At the same time, though, they don't need all the information. So be quiet with the ones that won't be inspiring you, because as owl sits and in the wisdom, they hunt in the dark, don't they? They have eyesight in the dark. So be willing to see through the shadows. Be willing to see through those down times, because I can tell you that as much as we have inspiration and joy, like with me, I was inspired while I was doing the feng shui, came home, was feeling a little tired. Well, didn't eat as well as I wanted to. Uh, I didn't munch routinely enough for my body at this time where it's healing that I went through a kind of a down moment where I had to take some time to myself and I rested, worked through the shadows. Now I'm coming back up again. And I'll be up again when my husband comes home so I can inspire him even though he's expiring. We can't always be the wah person. It's about the give and take, the ups and downs. It's about the shadows of the night with the vision of the day. So trust yourself as you walk through your life. And I want you to know that take this opportunity with this Lion's Gate, the planets in retrograde. Take a look at those triggers, those things that are feeling like, what is stopping me? If you have problems, if you have this, I know that there's something, I just can't picture it. Guess who can support you in that? Me. And so with that I would love to support you in a session, in feng shui session, in these moments of finding inspirations because we're all going through something. Now, it's not up on my website yet about the feng shui. I haven't gotten a hold of the guy who's doing my work for me to upload the videos and get the language wrapped around it. It's going to take me, I haven't even gotten out my newsletter yet for about a month and a half. So I'm working on some writing here coming up soon. So with that I hope that whatever we are going through, whatever's going through us, that we can find inspiration and remember that when something is here in our lives and it's kind of stumbling us up, what is this here to teach me? There's that mantra, what is this here to teach me? When we ask those questions, what is this here to teach me? Usually we can find out, oh, oh, yeah, it's trying to teach me that old pattern, that old truth that my parents had, that my siblings taught me well, that my friends really cemented in with me. Yeah, it's time to break that cement wall down, isn't it? It's time to be a little vulnerable and move forward. So blessings with you. And please reach out if you are in need. We're in this moment where life is about expansion. It's about expansion. And I'm going to say that again. It's about expansion. And if we can't do it ourselves, find someone that can inspire us. It's worth it. It's priceless. It's priceless. I know the person who helped feng shui her house today. She felt like she was in this hole, and we navigated something that we're all working through something, and and working through them. It's amazing. And Mary, thank you for saying that. I have lots of old patterns right now. Thank you for inspiring. You know, thank you for saying that. I think that's my new mantra for myself. I'm here to inspire. I know everybody I've left to do some feng shui. They've been this one friend that down in California that I went through. She was so inspired. I said, "Don't go out and spend money." And she says, "I won't." She went to Marshall's. She found things at 80% clearance. So she was getting things on the dollar instead of $10. It was like 59 cents. And so it was amazing. So as we're going through life, move forward. It's so inspiring to do that. Just remember, sometimes we can't do it alone. Blessings to you on this journey. I am here Mondays and Fridays, or Mondays and Wednesdays at 4 Pacific time to do inspiration. There's Mondays, the Dance of the Soul, where we talk about how our soul goes through life and how it navigates with partners that aren't so fun, partners that are fun, activities that are rough music to dance to inspiring music to dance with, to this life clarifications, where I am here to support you, to bring forth knowledge. So I'm gonna maybe give a little bit of homework out there. If you can, please take a moment and write down maybe 3 things that you would like in your life. And how can you bring in a little bit of conversation? Maybe write the 3 things. I am inviting, I am receiving, I am calling in, I am worthy of having 3 things. Write 3 things that you want to call into your life and write down 3 things around it that's either receiving, worthy of, or you're navigating with. And as you bring in those things, you can have you it will help you come through this new moon on August 8th and the Lion's Gate. Okay? If you need to write down, like Mary, you have these old patterns. So if you want to write, I am done with my old patterns of tripping me up. I am receiving the knowledge and the inspiration to navigate through them. Kind of like with me, I have inspiration to work through my words of the shoulda, coulda, wouldas language or the sweetie language. I mean, that's so endearing, but it's a trigger for some people, and I'm going to leave that one behind. So, with that, I would love to have you be inspired at this moment. The angels are here to help you. Your muses, the muses, yes, they are really muses. They are inspiring us to be inspired. So listen to those inspirations, even if they're a little fickle. Go walk outside barefoot. Why? Because I'm asking you to. Go do those little things. It'll be worth it for you in the end. Blessings to you. Please get a hold of me if you would like to. It's Natasha Venter at angelicclarifications.com.